Imagine paying 16% interest on a loan you took to invest, and the return is giving you 11%. That means you're losing money every month. But does that mean taking a loan to invest is a financial trap or a smart wealth move? We're going to dig dive into this approach of investing because someone may say that they don't have the finances to invest today, but they might be able to keep a commitment to paying a loan on a monthly basis. And I've seen most people grow financially using loans. I believe you can also look at the option of growing your investment using loans, but it has to be very strategic. And in today's video, we're going to analyze and see if it's viable. And by the end of the video, you will be able to decide whether you can take a loan to invest. Remember, I have always said you need to take good loans. That is, loans that will give you returns and not bad loans for consumption. So let's just deep dive and see whether indeed you can take a loan to invest. Hello good people, hope you're doing well. Jessie is my name and this is the Money and Growth Sacco, where we are working towards financial peace and ultimately financial freedom. If this is your kind of content, you can consider subscribing and turn on the notification bell so that you're notified every time you have a new upload. And a warm welcome to our new members, and if you'd like to join our membership, the button is down below. Just click the join button and choose between the 4 options of memberships that we have. Whether you're a starter, you have already picked momentum, you're growing, or you're now a pro in investing, there is a membership circle for you. Let's get to the video. So we are also going to look at what happens if you consider taking a loan and the investment does not grow and you're left with a loan to pay. Let's start by, do you think that all investments are worth someone taking a loan to invest? My answer would be no. For instance, you cannot take a loan and put your money in a money market fund because the interest on your loan will just be lost in the returns. Right now, the money markets are doing very poorly, so you can imagine you maybe borrow maybe even 50,000, you're paying interest at 16%, you're getting rewarded at 11%. Does that even make business sense? But I would say in the long run, it is something you can consider. This is the reason. Right now, you're paying interest at 16%. In the long run, once you pay off the loan and you continue growing your money market fund, now the income that you get after the loan is fully paid no longer goes through loss, because now at least it is giving you returns, though minimal, but it is giving you returns. To be honest, I would not consider taking a loan to invest in a money market because of the low returns and because it would take a longer period for you to recover. But the next part would be, would you take a loan to invest in a slightly higher risk investment, knowing very well that you can even lose your investment and you're left with a loan to pay? So I'll give you a story of someone who borrowed 300,000 to invest in the money market, hoping to build wealth through low risk investment. And I'm sure the choice of the low risk was because you have a loan, you don't want to increase your risks because you already have a loan to pay and you still want to grow. So inflation hit, reducing the returns. Assuming the money market fund was paying 11.5% and the inflation was for 5.5%, a Sacco loan at 12%, you need to top up 7%. What does that mean? You're technically investing, but you're becoming poorer by the day. And what is the goal of investing? Is to grow and build your wealth. But if you're becoming poorer, are you actually growing your wealth? The answer is no. Then there's a higher risk of someone saying, okay, the money market is giving me low returns, I still want to grow and I still want to take a loan. And they take a loan and put the money in very high risk investments like Forex, stocks, amongst others. This is where the most painful stories exist. Someone took a mobile loan, you used your help, you took a Sacco loan, you took a bank loan, even a salary advance to invest, believing that the quick returns will be able to pay the loan within a short time. Some made money, yes, but many entered near market peaks, and when the market crashed, the debt stayed. Can you imagine having lost your investment of 60% and you're left with a debt you're paying 12% interest? That's not investing anymore, that is financial suffocation. Then we have a trader who saw the lifestyle of the Forex traders online and decided, you know what? I'm going to take a loan, pledging my car as the security, and I'm going to invest in Forex. Months later, losses accumulated, repayments became impossible, and eventually the vehicle was repossessed. Social media shows profits, but it does not show the reality for those who are not able to make money in the Forex market. And they also do not show how you can recover from such a significant loss. Let me know in the comment section. Have you ever taken a loan to do a business and the business went south and you were left with a loan that took a toll on you in terms of it is straining your finances, but it is not giving you returns? Let's engage. The truth is, borrowing to invest is not a bad decision. In fact, some of the wealthiest people have built their wealth using other people's money, but they follow systems and structures. For instance, a business owner can borrow at 12% for a business which is giving 25% returns. That is logical borrowing. A real estate investor may use tenants' rent to repay the loan for property financing. A company may issue bonds to fund profitable expansion. That is still debt, but smart debt. In these scenarios, the investor creates cash flow strong enough to service the debt and you still make some profit. That's very different from borrowing blindly, hoping the markets will go up. One thing that is overlooked when you're investing using debt is the emotional distress. When your saving drops in value, it hurts. But when borrowed money drops, the pressure becomes completely different. Fear increases, panic selling increases, emotional decision making increases, and most investors end up making worse decisions because debt removes patience. That is why I've always said time and time again, first, you need to build your emergency fund. Second, before you get to investing, you need to work on how you will handle your emotions as you get into riskier investments. Maybe the low risk investment, you may sleep tight, you may not stress much, but as you progress to riskier investments, which ideally is what you need to build wealth, you need to work on your emotions. You don't want to wake up, look at the stock market, you see you have lost 20,000, you start selling your shares. You need to give your shares time to grow. You also need to give your investment time to grow, and that is why investment is a more than 3 years aspect, because if you start expecting investment to work for you within a year, you may not achieve much, one, and two, you may not get the returns that you expect. But if you're consistent, you keep reinvesting your returns, you keep growing, you will see something. At least in 3 years, you will see some level of growth as compared to just putting your money under your mattress or sticking to the low risk investments. Life itself is a risk. You wake up, you get into a car, you don't know whether you get to your destination. That is a risk. You wake up, you go to a restaurant, you eat, you don't know whether there is something in the food that can react to your body, not necessarily poison, but something that does not go down well with your body. So there are so many things that are risky in our lives, and investing is one of them, and it's something you cannot live without unless you want to always live hand to mouth for the rest of your life. And this is where the rule of never invest money you're not ready to lose comes in. Because when you put in money for an investment, and perhaps maybe a higher risk investment, you may lose including your investment. So you need to be psychologically and emotionally stable for you to be able to absorb the shocks that come from the investing, and especially as you grow from medium to high risk investments. The big question is not whether the debt can create wealth. The big question is, can your cash flow survive if the investments underperform? Because investment success is not only about returns, it's about survival. And people underestimate how long markets can stay down. You can see, like in the recent past, the money market has been going down and down every other month, and nowadays it's not even as attractive as it used to be some months back. But how long can you sustain it? Maybe in the beginning you thought it's going to be 2-3 months. Now it is 6 months down the line, almost a year down the line, and it is still struggling. So you need to handle these phases. Here is the reality. Borrowing to invest can accelerate wealth, but it can also accelerate financial destruction. The difference usually comes down to risk management, stable income, investment knowledge, emotional discipline, and realistic expectations. One of the realistic expectations is that investment is not a get-rich-quick scheme. You may be lucky and get an opportunity to grow your investment within a short time, but it's not always an assurance. Debt is a multiplier. It multiples gains, but it can also multiple mistakes. So, what do you think? Would you borrow to invest? To be honest, I would, because of the long-term effect. But your source of repayment should not be from the investment. That perhaps is what can get you in trouble, so that you can give your investment time to grow. Assuming you've taken the 300, like the case study we had, and you put it aside and you give it 3 years. In those 3 years, you can look for a way of paying off your loan maybe within 2 years or those 3 years. And then now from 3 years, you start enjoying the benefit. But remember, if you don't have an emergency fund, something may come up and you may start stealing from your investment when it has not even given you returns. And by that, you will be converting your good debt to bad debt, because it will stop being an investment debt and it will become a consumable debt. So let me know in the comment section, would you borrow to invest? Or how do you feel? Are you comfortable in borrowing to invest? To be honest, I would. In our next episode, we are going to look at signs that you're not ready to take a loan to invest. Okay, so make sure you look out for it. It will be the next episode after this video, and we post on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly consider subscribing. If you're returning, thank you so much for always coming back to watch our videos. See you on the next one. Bye.